I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Pon de Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sign songs here, we sign artists.
Rihanna allegedly knew all about Diddy and Cassie's wild parties, and some say she even sent them ideas for what to try during those wild nights. But hold on, it doesn't stop there. Word on the street is that Jay-Z was getting close to Rihanna back when she was still a teenager trying to break into the game. And when things cooled off, he supposedly handed her over to Diddy like she was just another business deal. Wild. These so-called freak-offs? People are saying Diddy didn't just link up with Rihanna. He allegedly got her involved with both him and Cassie at the same time, and it got real messy. Cassie reportedly started feeling threatened by Rihanna and tried copying her vibe so Diddy wouldn't kick her out of the picture. Talk about twisted. Jaguar Wright even went on record saying Chris Brown completely lost it when he found out about what had been going on. That's what allegedly triggered that dark chapter between him and Rihanna. It's beyond disturbing. The way these celebs were moving behind closed doors, it's like they were trading partners like it was nothing. And the drama was spreading faster than gossip at a Hollywood after-party. And remember those old whispers about Jay-Z and Rihanna? Folks claim Jay got her caught up in some kind of sugar baby dynamic before he ever gave her a record deal. Her former publicist even spilled that Jay told her she'd get signed if she played along. Back then, Rihanna was still new in the US, just trying to survive and make it. Jay-Z, he was the head of Def Jam, holding the keys to her career. What choice did she really have? It gets even more chilling when you hear Rihanna talk about how Jay-Z locked her in his office till 3 a.m. to get her to sign the paperwork. She said it herself during an old interview with Tyra Banks. And Tyra? Fans believe she brought it up on purpose, like she knew what went down and wanted Rihanna to say it on air. That interview still has people side-eyeing Jay-Z to this day. Jaguar Wright dropped another wild bomb. She claims Chris Brown pulled up to Clive Davis's mansion one night, looking to confront Rihanna face to face. And what he supposedly walked in on? Who? According to Jaguar, he caught her mid-act with another man in the most shocking way imaginable. She says Rihanna was literally on her knees with her mouth full. That night flipped everything upside down. But instead of owning up to the chaos, Jaguar says Jay-Z and Rihanna quickly came up with a whole new version of the story to keep the real tea from leaking. They wanted to bury the scandal before it blew up. Allegedly, Jay told her they had to protect their image, no matter what. Now, you might be wondering where Jaguar got all these details. Well, she's claiming she was right there at the party when everything went down. According to her, she saw it all with her own eyes and kept the receipts locked in her mind for years. Let's shift to Rihanna and Cassie for a sec. Things between them were rocky, and the tension only got worse after Diddy reportedly pulled Rihanna into those private freak sessions he was having with Cassie. They were never besties to begin with, but after that, it was icy cold between them. And here's where it gets even messier. Court records revealed some leaked messages between Diddy and Cassie, and in those texts, Cassie sent him private photos of Rihanna. Yes, Rihanna. According to Cassie, Diddy would make her send him explicit pics of different women, and that time, he specifically asked for Rihanna. Fans were confused at first, wondering why Rihanna was even being mentioned. But the streets are saying it's because she was part of those sessions too. But wait, there's more. Cassie's former best friend, Brianna Bailand, the same woman who testified in court that Diddy once held her over a balcony, came forward with more tea. She said she was supposed to launch a clothing brand with Cassie back in the day, but due to Cassie's growing beef with Rihanna, the deal fell apart. The supplier didn't want any drama messing with their business, so they backed out, all because of the hidden tension between those two. But it gets even darker. Some insiders say Rihanna was never the same after her time around Diddy. Behind the scenes, she was reportedly acting distant, paranoid, and emotionally drained. People in her circle noticed the shift, but nobody dared speak up, cause when it comes to Diddy, silence is survival. Those who talk, they usually disappear from the spotlight real quick. And let's not forget, Rihanna wasn't the only one tied up in this mess. Industry folks have whispered for years that Diddy had a list, a rotation of rising stars he kept close, offering them deals, glam, and red carpets, only to pull them into his twisted world. Some even believe Cassie wasn't his only long-term project. She was just the one who stuck around the longest. What's even more disturbing? Rihanna's public image was getting polished while all this was allegedly happening behind the scenes. She was doing magazine covers, award shows, and endorsements, while being controlled like a puppet off camera. One source even claimed that she once showed up to a major label event looking visibly upset, refusing to speak to Diddy at all. People brushed it off, but now it's raising serious questions. And about Jay-Z? The streets still haven't forgotten the way he positioned himself as her mentor. But let's be real. Mentorship shouldn't feel like manipulation, especially when there's a power imbalance that deep. Some fans think Jay knew exactly what he was doing, bringing Rihanna into his circle just young enough to shape her career and her loyalty. Meanwhile, Cassie was reportedly catching on to how replaceable she'd become. That's when she allegedly started going through Diddy's phones, tracking his moves, and watching his interactions with other women, including Rihanna. According to people close to Cassie, she felt like a shadow in her own relationship, constantly compared to whoever Diddy was chasing next. At this point, it wasn't just music, it was a mind game. Fame was the bait, and control was the cost. Now here's where things really start to spiral, because once Cassie began standing up for herself, Diddy allegedly went into full control mode. According to sources close to her, he started isolating her from everyone, even her own friends and family. He didn't want anyone around her that could convince her to leave. That's how deep his grip was. And while all that was going on, Rihanna's connection to Diddy slowly faded out of the public eye. But insiders say it wasn't by choice. Word is, once Rihanna started pushing back and distancing herself from that whole circle, her team had to do major cleanup to keep her image intact. Meetings were canceled, brand deals were carefully managed, everyone around her had to pretend like none of it ever happened. But the real kicker? The rumors that Rihanna and Cassie weren't the only ones involved. Some say Diddy had a hidden vault, videos, messages, recordings, all locked away in case anyone ever tried to expose him. People who've worked in his homes or studios have anonymously spilled that there were cameras everywhere, like everywhere. And now, fans are wondering, was this just about control or insurance? Jaguar Wright also hinted that several other A-listers were caught up in these so-called private parties. She didn't name names this time, but she did say that Rihanna wasn't even the biggest celeb Diddy pulled into that world. According to her, what the public sees is just the tip of a much darker iceberg. And here's another twist. There were whispers that Jay-Z knew everything going on behind the scenes. Not just with Rihanna, but with the whole operation. People are saying he kept quiet because it was convenient. As long as nobody talked, his hands stayed clean. But if even half of this is true, that silence speaks volumes. At the end of the day, these weren't just business relationships. They were layered with control, manipulation, and secrets that were never supposed to come out. But now that the walls are cracking and people like Jaguar are talking, the truth is getting harder to hide. So get this. Cassie was reportedly using the same exact supplier that Rihanna and Beyonce were using for their fashion lines. But of course, Rihanna and Bey were, and still are, much bigger names bringing in way more money. So the supplier naturally gave them top priority, leaving Cassie on the sidelines. That hit her hard. Now imagine how Cassie must have felt, allegedly getting iced out by Diddy and losing major deals because of Rihanna. That's not just personal beef, that's business beef too. The drama wasn't just about who Diddy was messing with. It was about Cassie missing out on serious cash. And when it comes to Ari, she's been silent. No statements, no reactions, nothing about her name being dragged into court. But social media? Oh, people had plenty to say. One person posted, "Jay-Z thinks he's above everything. He believes money and high-powered lawyers can make anything disappear." Another wrote, "I believed Jaguar Wright the moment I saw how none of those celebs ever tried to sue her for defamation." That tells you everything. This whole situation got people choosing sides, connecting dots, and questioning just how deep the industry goes when it comes to power, control, and silence. And honestly, we've only scratched the surface. The more testimonies drop, the more skeletons get yanked right out of those Hollywood closets. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Rihanna and Cassie really had smoke over Diddy? And do you believe Rihanna was ever involved in those behind-the-scenes freaky setups? Drop your thoughts down in the comments section. I'll be reading them all. And hey, if you're still here, you know you're into the drama, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next drop. Click here for another wild video full of celeb secrets and messy receipts. See you in the next one.